Do you suffer from weak legs and thighs, having trouble holding onto the bike like Al? If you do, stand by, because we're installing these. Today on Hard Enduro, we install Steg Pegz on our Beta Xtrainer. So if you've got worm arms and chicken legs like me, go ahead and like and subscribe. Today we're going to be installing one of my favourite additions to any dirt bike. These are Steg Pegz, another really good Australian innovation and something that will really help us weekend warriors out on the trails. Now, these are here purely to combat arm pump and over fatigue from poor riding techniques, frankly. So if you haven't seen Steg Pegz before, they're a very simple addition to any bike. They're slightly different for every bike. On the Beta, we just have 2 bolts where these are going to attach to the side of the bike, and you have a puck on here which is going to grab the back side of your boot, meaning that you can grip the bike better with your legs and use less of your energy with your arms through the bars. Now this will also translate to better riding, because when you're tense in your arms you lose a lot of fine motor skills, which is your clutch and your brake. So these are going to allow you to have better steering control and better clutch control when you're climbing any sort of scrambly hill or anything with bumps. So pretty simple to put these on. They're always designed that they replace the factory bolts on bikes, and they go to a lot of trouble here. You'll see even this one has like a chamfered washer on it, which mirrors the bolt that's going to come out of here, and this one has got a collar, and they always put a bit of foam on as well to protect a lot of the body of your bike. Now, every bike's a little bit different. One of the unfortunate things with the Beta is that this panel here pops off to get to your airbox, and unfortunately this does cover it when it's installed, but it's not a big deal. It's just like backing off 2 bolts and then you can get it open. But just a consideration with each bike as you go. Now, the pucks here are really good. You can also buy kits with double pucks. So I've got some left over from my last bike as well. So you'll see if you double up, you're going to get a lot of traction on your boot, but that just comes down to really personal circumstances. Another addition, which is what I had to do on my last Yamaha WR250, is actually used, if you're in Australia, at Bunnings, you can get these big door stops, and I'm sure there's something comparative at Lowe's or something similar, but that just allowed a bit more width and a bit more depth on the ones that I had on the Yamaha. So really easy to customize these, or straight out of the box, they are ready to go. So now we're going to take out a couple of bolts and fit these in just a few minutes. So on the Xtrainer, we've just got a lower Allen bolt here. As I said, it's got a triangular chamfer in there, so it's going to be mirrored on the Steg. And we've got an 8mm bolt just above the airbox. We take that out, you can see that it's got a bit of a collar, which is replicated on the Steg. Even a little detail, they've got these rubber O-rings so that all your collars don't fall off, which is a nice little addition. Which I'm just going to roll them off as I'm ready to install. Simply tighten up both those bolts, and those collars give it a bit of an offset so that it's not rubbing on your bike. You may want to use some Loctite on these as well so they don't rattle loose. And that is how simple installation of Steg Pegz can be on a bike. Now, the one last thing we need to do is adjust where we want the puck to be, and that's going to be different for every rider. We've recently changed out the pegs to some fastway ones. So that's anything you do to the bike is going to adjust where these go. So we always encourage people to start at the bottom with where your feet are and then work your way up through the bike position. Now, if I back off the puck, you'll see that this just slides forward and rearward. And pick up my boot here. What you'll see is that when you're standing on the bike, this puck just locks into the back of your boot. Now again, this is going to be different for everyone depending on your height, what type of boots you use, what the material is on the back of the boot. And that's why I say some people like a double puck. You get a lot of grip and a lot of purchase on that. The only thing you might find if you use two pucks is that when you're descending down a hill, you'll actually find you have to pop your leg around a little bit. It's not a big deal, you get used to it quite quickly, but it's just a consideration. So some people might prefer one puck so that they can slide around it nice and easy. Some might really want to lock their legs when they're ascending with two pucks. So that's Steg Pegz. Like I said, probably value for money and simplicity of installing is one of the best things that you can do for an amateur dirt bike rider to help you get out there and enjoy your riding on the trails.